Okay, today I thought I'm talking again about the Primus Omni Fuel cooker because last time after the review, shortly thereafter, the main burner broke, and I contacted Primus, and they directly sent me a new one. The reason what happened was that the burner itself started shrinking more and more. That was one issue, but the other one was the connector here inside. The little basically the thread there broke out because every time when you this one is closed right now, so every time when you open it up, the valve, there's a lot of pressure like leaning that way, so you create a lot of issue on the thread down there. So every time when I'm starting it now, I put some pressure on here and just start opening it up because the the temperature shifts and also in general, like the over amount of use that I put on this one creates like like all the rubber seals and everything start shrinking and expanding and whatnot, so the tolerances are getting a little bit fucked over the years. Just have that a little bit in mind. Otherwise, like I said, this one was used now for a good year after my initial review and the replacement, and I'm pretty much just used the clean white gas alkylite fuel, which works really well. Before that, I said in a review that I'm using mostly just normal 95 fuel, which is perfectly fine to use, but it looks as if it burns a little too hot, besides the fact that it's also clogging up the pipes and everything. But the jets and everything, the little openings that you have, those ones, it starts clogging them up. So I just use the alkylite. It burns the cleanest, and in terms of like financial value, it's the best you can have. Pure gas, the problem with that is it's just expensive, and in the winter time you can just screw that. It doesn't really work that well. Even though they sell winter fuel and whatnot, it's a winter gas. It doesn't really work that well, so don't fuck around with that. Use the alkylite fuel. That's always the best. I use this thing 365 days a year, and once or twice a day. So this one takes a beating, and for that, after a year again, perfectly fine. Works good. It is pretty dirty right now because I haven't cleaned it in a while, and it's because I'm making coffee all the time. It spills over a little bit and whatnot. So that's why it's dirty, and I make my food with it and whatnot. When I'm on expedition, quote unquote, when I'm on trips and whatnot, then I wouldn't, then I only boil water. This way I make myself whatever food I want with it. But when you buy this one, always buy this kit to it. You get quite a lot of extra stuff. Those ones, even though they're dirty, they still work fairly fine. You don't really need to replace them. I mean, this one is perfectly fine, and I have it on there for a year now, so I replaced it when I put the new one in. They last for years. So, but it's good to have, and always have a needle, because the tool, I have it inside, but the tool that comes with the kit is never really that good. The little needle just falls off, so just take a needle, like a normal, like, needle on thread kind of needle. Fits in there, clean it out, just blow it out if you need to. Perfectly fine. The parts that are actually the most difficult ones are this one here. I tend to leave it on because this attachment here is fairly shitty. You see this one already rattles a little bit. This one is the first thing to go, so have that a little bit in mind. Again, since I'm not moving around so much, it still stays fairly good. If you open this one up, this one here is the one that I need to lube it up again, and I actually have to replace it. It's a little leather thingy that creates the pressure in there. Always have those ones in spare. I actually have to order new ones because they get old They, you know, there's a lot of shit on it now. You can see it's all the aluminum that is in there. So you need to replace that once in a while and lube it up again. This one is fairly well lubed, but it's still, it is, you know, I have this shit for years, so. But if you're going out on a long trip, always have a spare, either those spare parts or just, you know, the entire system. Which, if you're going out for longer trips, that's definitely the way to go. Those flasks, they last forever. I have this one since I bought this one, you know, so those are super good. I had to replace the whole system here because that is just one system. I actually, you know, that is one thing, but where I actually had the problem here, on this one, the valve, you see here the pressure, when it gets pressure, it pops out. This one actually got loose. It's small items, but if you're not using it as heavy as I do, you're gonna have this for a lifetime. All right, let's see that we start this up because I just filled it up half. It's funny because they always show those things, you know, filled up, because then the flame is the strongest. The lower the amount of fuel is in there, the less power you actually generate. I think, yeah, you can just, you know, you can add another minute or whatever to the actual like burning time and whatnot, you know. So it's ridiculous that they never really show that. They only show it on max pressure because obviously, like, the less fuel you have in there, the less pressure you actually build up. So have that a little bit in mind when you're actually calculating like fuel consumption and whatnot. All right, let's see how this thing goes. This one, like I said, takes about 3 liters. Filling it up with snow, you know, and then just go for it. That's the way to go, in my opinion, since you have a little bit more surface. And always start with a little bit of water in the bottom. It takes, it goes way faster, you know, if you do it like that. Also, if you put a little bit of tape around here, this one, due to the fuel, already starts peeling off. But it's good to put something around there, because if it's cold out there, you know, it's a little bit nicer to actually have this one. Alrighty, it's bubbling up. There you go. Finished. So it still goes pretty quickly. I tend to switch it off a little bit earlier and not totally burn it out due to the fact that it starts to create a lot of gunk and shit that comes up. So it's better to actually just don't let the flames just continue. Then it stays a little bit cleaner then. All right.